wow. Yeah, dinner was slamming. It was late and it was the first thing I ate all day, but yes, it was really good. It is Sunday. That's my let me turn off some stuff. That is my hot water heater because I'm making some tea, and that was the fan, and the grasshoppers are cranking, crickets are cranking. And let me just make sure, am I here right? I am here. Hi, Julie Luce. Hey, Carl Hess. It is Sunday night. I'm editing the privacy and boom, we are now public. My name is Jenna Mammina. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I am here every day and every night, 11:11 a.m., 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us if it's your first time. Welcome. If you're watching from YouTube, thank you. On YouTube, my friend William magically takes the show on Facebook and adds it to my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. And so you can watch over 900 shows on YouTube. And you can subscribe to it. And you can support it. If you want to support 11:11 with Jenna, I'll show you how right this very second. It's very easy. If you have Venmo or PayPal or Patreon, or like to write a check, or even Zelle. I now have Zelle. So you can support the show. Another way of supporting the show is you can share it. And lots of wows. The more wows, the better. Wow, wow. You know the little wow signal? Wow it. Make it a wow. I think, hey, Bill Dietrich. So, hey, Stacy. Hey, William. Wow. Hello, Carol. So, yeah, it is July 25th, and I was in my yard today from, I think, like noon until about 8:30. And my neighbor came over, and we weeded, and I have all a brick driveway, and, weeds in the driveway. And then she started being all Miss Topiary, like she's at Disney World, and she did the evergreens in the front. I'm like, let's just rip them out. No, let's. We had all the stuff going on except the blower. I was sweeping because I feel bad for the animals. So bunnies, the deer. What inspired the whole thing was there were some deer in my hostas. They were sleeping in my hostas. They broke all my hostas, which I walk out. I'm like, did I run into my house and flatten all the hostas? And then I thought, no, baby deer, they're sleeping in my hostas. So I'm glad they had a nice place to sleep. That made me happy. But so Sunday nights here on 11:11 have, for the most part, the last few months have been Musicians Square Table. And I've introduced musicians on the show, and it's been really fun. And now musicians are gigging on Sunday nights, or the ones that I had originally scheduled, and then the next one next scheduled, they have gigs tonight. So I thought, well, I can sit here and sing, da 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 da, which I could, and that would be fun. But I wanted to have. Hey, Stacy, are you in Washington D.C. or New York? What was it? Somewhere like that, East Coast. I thought, let's have, since my very first poetry slam that I ever went to was at the Green Mill in Chicago, because I'd start playing at, when did we start there? At 11, I think. Did we start at 11 or midnight? It must have been 11. And I met all these poetry people. My friend Chuck Perkins, who was on the show way back, like March 26th. Chuck Perkins, I think, was on the show. And he's a poetry guy. He's like a allotted poetry slam guy. And my friend Joe Velez, so I thought, I better get in contact with Joe. And then I started weeding, and then I forgot, and then I talked to Carl, and then I forgot to call him back. And I have a poem, but I have to look for it. So let me just look for it super quick. I have like a few of them. But there's one that I really like a lot. And I know there are some people that are going to Okay, there's the poem I'm going to read. I think. Oh, yeah. And if there are anyone, if there is anyone that's here right now that wants to get on and read a poem or call me on the phone and read it over the phone, I am so down for that. I do know there are some people, they seem to have disappeared. Where did you go, participants? Oh, I think they might be ready though. This is something I've been waiting for, and also is a bit of an inspiration behind poetry reading tonight is Lisa Metzger, Jeff's wife Lisa. They have a dog named Layla, and Layla and Lisa read poetry together. I don't know if they do it daily or if it's a Saturday morning thing. We're going to find out now, but this is part of the inspiration of poetry. And hearing Carl talk last week, I thought Carl just needs to read poetry to us, or a story, or read some hypnosis stuff, and so I can go to sleep. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, check it out now. Lisa Metzger. Thanks, Dave. Nice applause. Big applause for this old dog mom over here. Hey, dog mom, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
I like your sound effects.
I had a good one. I have a good one here somewhere, but my poem is up right now.
I don't like this. You told me to leave this, but I don't like being so far away, so I'm going to mess with it already.
Oh, so.
Hold on. Because if we do this, I can sit closer.
So I can't remember. You've been on the show one time. Was it a holiday time?
I was?
Yeah, you and Jeff were having dinner, and you were
on. Was I chatting or whatever?
You were telling me about. Do you have 9 brothers and sisters?
I have 8.
8. You are the 9th. I have
8 brothers and sisters, and I am the youngest. Oh, that's why he did that way. Okay.
I youngest of 8 or 9?
Youngest of 9.
Yeah, wow.
And they're all still alive, which is really amazing.
Right.
Knock on wood. I mean, my oldest brother is 82.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yep.
And you grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, somewhere Arizona.
Yes, but I was born in Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah, that's where my parents were from.
Where in Mississippi?
Both my father was from Pascagoula and my mother was from Biloxi.
And how did they meet?
And I think my dad was 10 years older than my mom. I think he came into a shop she worked in. They were from opposite sides of the tracks, so to speak. My father was from a very wealthy upper class family. His dad started the Merchant Marines Bank in Pascagoula. And his mother came from a wealthy family. My mother was not that at all, but they were both from large families too. So my dad was from 10 and my mother had 7 siblings. So there's a lot of relatives out there.
Do you have a lot of cousins now that you are connected with, or that you, at least they're on the planet?
I have a lot of aunts and uncles and cousins, but I can't actually, without effort, it's very hard for me to name my parents' siblings, because by the time I was born, there were 8 siblings of my own, and they were already having kids. My oldest niece is only 11 months younger than I am. So I was more the generation of that. And my older siblings know all the relatives in Mississippi.
So you have nieces and nephews that are older than you are?
No, I have, the oldest is a niece who's 11 months younger than I am.
Okay. Wow.
But I think my kids have something like 27 first cousins. I am a great, great aunt already. I mean, it's a pretty huge family. We had a family reunion in Mississippi when Kevin was 9 and Allie was 6. And I remember Kevin running up to me, very stressed. It was only my mother's side of the family. And he came running up and said, Mom, I was just figuring out who all of my aunts and uncles and their kids were. And now you bring me here and there's 150 new people I'm related to. And I don't know any of them. And it's true, there were 150 people there and it was only my mother's siblings and their offspring. It was crazy. So yeah, big family, gregarious family. So.
And you're the
Yeah.
youngest from what's the next age?
Well, my parents had 4 children and then they had a gap of 6 years and then they had 5 more because they were good Catholics. But in those 6 years, my dad was drafted into the Korean War and then he contracted tuberculosis. And in those days, they gave you 72 hours to wrap up your affairs and then you were quarantined in a, what do you call it, sanatorium? Like there's a word for crazy place, word for health, and his was the health one. 72 hours and he had to go into this quarantine. And my mother had 4 children and hadn't finished high school and did not drive. It was not easy. I don't know how they did it, but that's why they moved to Arizona, because when he got out after 18 months, the doctors told him, get out of this climate or you will die. So they moved to the dry Arizona climate. That's how they ended up out there. So, and they had 5 more because they're crazy. But I always say I'm glad they didn't stop at 8.
I know my mom and dad had 3, and then they waited 5 years, and then I was planned.
Oh.
Yeah, I was planned. My mom comes from 17 kids.
Wow.
So I know the cousin thing. Like, you're my cousin?
Yeah.
And my mom has nieces and nephews that are older than she is.
Yes.
Like I've met some of my mom. They'd be like, "Hello, Grace, cousin or Aunt Grace," and I'd be like, "Mom, that person's like 90," and she's like, "Yeah, that's my nephew." I get it.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's super crazy. Well, I really, really, really want you to come on sometime and hang out, and we can talk about all this cool stuff that you do, because I know some of it. We've only been around each other like 2 times, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll see you in February, if not before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's February?
San Pancho, the music.
Oh, yeah. Are they doing it again?
It's planned.
Oh, I hadn't heard that. Oh,
We have our
that was
reservations. We're all staying at the hotel.
Oh, are you?
Mhm.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Fun.
That's cool. You mean at Gazella's Hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
The Moroccos are going, and Patty and myself, and who knows?
How fun.
I usually stay with friends, but the people that I play with some friends that live up on the hill, and I like staying up there. It's fun, but I also like staying in town. Before, when I lived in Sayulita, I would just pop over, but the people that have been staying with for many years are selling their property. So,
Oh,
hello, Melanie Demore. So I don't want to. I do. I want you to come on the show and we can hang out, because you do really cool things. And the one thing that always sticks in my head when I first met the two of you is Jeff said that you are one heck of a hummingbird whisperer.
oh, I love my hummingbirds. They're fearless little creatures.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not afraid. They're just cautious.
They're cautious. Makes sense.
But they're pretty. They know what they want, and if they want what the nectar, and you're standing there with your hands around it, they will buzz, and they will buzz right here and look at you and check you out, like, what are you doing? And if you just hold still and don't move, they'll be like, okay, as long as you hold still, I'm going to go ahead and drink that nectar, and they'll land on my hands. And
I really want to see that sometime.
Yeah.
Really want to see it. So you and Layla,
yes,
read poetry together.
we do.
And is this a daily occurrence?
No, it just depends on what's going on when she gets up in the morning. When we all get up, that's a big place. She likes lots of attention and energy, and she's full of energy. And that's when we give her puzzles, or I have a new game I just invented for her, putting things in something inside something else, inside something else, inside something else, and she has to get it all apart. But after she plays for a while and has her breakfast, now she's ready for nap time. So I altered my routines to accommodate her once she came to live with us. And that's when I go in and I'll do my journaling, I'll do my meditation or my reading. And that's when I started reading. I would read poetry, so I started reading it, sometimes reading her poetry out loud. She gets very calm and peaceful and just likes to lie there and listen. So, but she'll follow me around any morning. If I walk in our bedroom for any reason, she's all excited, like, is it time? I mean, we're ridiculous. I know she's a dog, but we call it Snuggie time. That's what I do. Snuggie, all excited.
I don't know if you saw my post yesterday, but Lillian, all kinds of nicknames, but
yes.
newest nickname is Pearl Friend.
Yes. Oh.
I love her. And they're very similar in a lot of except Layla's quite a bit bigger.
She's quite a what?
She's a lot bigger than Lillian. She's twice as big, I think.
How big is Lily?
She weighs 11 pounds, 11 ounces.
Yeah. Layla's 21 pounds. You're right. All muscle.
Yeah. Lillian used to be super bulky. So I'm excited to hear some poetry. Please share with us some poetry, Miss Lisa Metzger.
Oh, I have lots. It was hard to choose, but I decided that one of my favorites is Emily Dickinson, one of the old tried and trues. But the thing about Emily that I admire so much is when you think about when she lived. She was born, I think, in 1830, something like that. Died in 1880. She was 56 when she died.
Really?
And when she died, she was recluse, and probably agoraphobic. She had gone to college. She didn't finish, but she had gone off to college. She lived in Massachusetts, and she came from a very prestigious family. She didn't finish college, but she was well educated. And when she came back, she started showing these eccentricities, like wearing white, nothing but white. And there's a lot of speculation about her. There's speculation that she may have been gay. There's a woman that she may very much have been somebody she was writing poetry for. Although there was also a man who was a fair amount older than her that was like a mentor to her. And they also think there's also speculation she wrote some of the poems about him. But she wrote about nature. She wrote about life, love, religion. But it's interesting to me to read some of what she wrote so long ago and as a woman, and see how relevant it is for today and for people who march to a different drum, or for people who maybe the world wants to put them in a certain box that they don't want to fit in. And that's the part that I love, that I find within her poems. And I find it in so many different ways. She didn't title her poems. And interestingly enough, she sent a few of her poems to a man when she was, I think, 32. And he wrote her back and said, well, these aren't written, asking if she should publish. And he said, these aren't ready to be published. And it wasn't until after her death that her family found all of this poetry she'd written that they didn't even know she'd written. So she only published like 2 or 3 or something while she was alive in little like local publications. So all of her fame came afterwards. It was her sister Lavinia found hundreds of Emily's poems, organized it back as 4, 5, or 6 sheets of folded stationery, and decided to try to get them published. And Emily didn't title them. Now, most of them are just numbered. But if you want to see what I'm talking about the way she looked at the world, she loved nature. and there's many beautiful poems about nature, and she saw the personhood of animals, which is something I relate to very much. Animals aren't just animals to me. I see distinct creatures with distinct personalities and distinct loves and just everything about them. And she very much saw that, but she also kind of resisted a lot of the boxes. So this is one that I chose to read because of that. I'm seated, as in CEDED. Let me say it that way. This is probably pretty famous, but I'm seated. I've stopped being theirs. The name they dropped upon my face with water in the country church is finished using now. And they can put it with my dolls, my childhood, and the string of spools I finished threading too. Baptized before without the choice, but this time consciously, of grace unto supremest name. Called to my full, the crescent dropped, existences whole are filled up with one small diadem. My second rank, too small the first, crowned, crowing on my father's breast, a half unconscious queen, but this time adequate, erect, with will to choose or to reject. And I choose just a throne.
Wow.
Rejecting the religion. You know?
Yeah.
Rejecting the religion of her day, rejecting the constraints. So I'm gonna follow with a very short one that I think ties right in, which is about spiritual belief. This one's short, but obviously spent a lot of time communing with nature, and then looking at that, and being a person who never left her home. So she stopped going to church. In fact, when her father died, they held the funeral in the home, and she still didn't come out of her room, but stood in her room with the door cracked. That's how she took part in the funeral. And yet she had such profound thoughts. And I think I'm thinking she left the home and wandered nature, but she didn't go see people or do anything at the end. She was very, very solitary. But listen to this one. This one just blew me away. Death is a dialogue between the spirit and the dust. Dissolve, says death. The spirit, sure, I have another trust. Death doubts it, argues from the ground. The spirit turns away, just laying off for evidence an overcoat of clay. Do you love that?
I love it.
The idea of our humanity as clay and the spirit just laying it off.
It's right there. How wonderful. And who knows how old she was when she was writing these poems.
Right. A lot of these, she was young. I mean, I love that one. I was like,
I love it too. Well, I'm going to bring someone else on, and you're welcome to stay. And if the spirit moves you and you want to read something else, please do. So I'm going to now, I'm not sure if it's Carol or Rob or Carol, but wow, that's really beautiful. I would love to hear that one again. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage now are the Moroccos. Come back, Jeff. Come back, Lisa. There you go. Thank you. Oh, there he is with a new haircut. Rob Morocco got a haircut. Landscape, my friend. Landscape.
I have no idea. It won't let me do a landscape. Why?
There it is. Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm trying this little holder thing.
Are you sitting in front of one of Carol's paintings?
Yeah.
It looks like you have extra hair. Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Lisa, have you ever seen Carol's paintings?
No.
Can you, no. Rob, do you mind? Can you like zoom in on that?
Yeah, you bet.
That's a painting?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious. The talent in the world is just,
Yeah, she's
that is extraordinary.
It's
yeah.
Oh,
it's just beyond my words to even.
and so poignant.
Sorry, I'm doing a selfie stick here, and I'll do it quick. These are her new one that's upstairs. I won't show that one because that one's just about done. But
Next
and
Friday.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And
How
just
long
so
is
you can see her style is that. Sorry, I'm holding a stick for
That's
once in my
okay.
life for this. So that one and a few others in this room, like this one as well, which people have seen so many times, they'll be tired of it. But
Oh, the emotion she captures.
It's incredible. And this is, you know, on a little tiny camera that we're seeing this through.
I know, and they jump out.
The story super quick. One night on Display and Share, when we first were meeting each other talking, Rob just texts me on the side and says, my wife is a painter, but she's not here, and it's Display and Share. How about, is it okay if I display and share some of her paintings? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, paintings, cool, that's great, your wife's a painter. And he starts showing these, and I'm like, how do you even,
Yes,
like,
yes.
I'm bowing to this woman. Hey, Bonnie Barker, healer
Wow.
extraordinaire, what's happening? Yeah, and what's cool about that one, Rob, is when you're in it a little bit further to your left, it looks like you have lots of hair going on. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
next time Blanche is on, I'll wear my daughter's Hannah Montana wig, and then we'll really look pretty cool. So
it's true. William just said we can never be tired of those paintings because they're just it's beyond a gift to the world.
yeah, and as you mentioned, in person and seeing them for real, like the colors and the vibrancy, and they come to life. Like it's I mean, you can't do it even on a website that's shot with cameras again, but you know, up close and stuff like that. I will say it, you know, even though I'm married to her, they're stunning. Like people have been very captivated by them. So from
Has
around
she
the
done
world.
gallery?
What's that?
Does she do gallery showings and sell
Yeah,
her
so
work?
she's had a variety of gallery showings. At one time, she wouldn't sell them. And so our house was filling up. So there were a variety of galleries in Edmonton and private viewings, but she wouldn't allow anyone to buy them, as well as people from around the world, from Australia to you name it, have got copies of the prints, the giclées, which are the same. But once she got into the charity work and our house was starting to fill up, so she began selling the paintings. And so all the funds from her entire painting work goes directly to the charity that she does. She controls it. She does what she wants to do, and you know, wherever it is in Africa or whatever part of the world, and that's what she does. So the ones that you see here, these are actually, the one behind me is actually a print, giclée. It would be very difficult to tell it from the original unless you were sitting next to it, but it looks pretty good. And the other two that I walked away are originals that she won't sell. She promised them to my daughter. And so you could, you know, if the Metzger said, we'll give you $1 million for both, she still wouldn't sell them. So, but
are they oils, the originals?
They're all oils, and she does them the way the masters did them in Europe. So she layers them and spends literally months and months and months and months every day working on a painting. So, so yeah, and you would never know they were oils unless you, like, you know, it's European, like if you walk up to them, you'd think they were, you know, like from just so soft. There's no lines. You can't feel anything. They're just absolutely perfect. Just layers and layers of paint. So.
Just the way she paints the fabric and the hair just blows my mind.
They're stunning.
Beyond. Oh, and Jeff was going to offer $2 million for both of them.
Hey, send a check and I'll see if I can get someone to steal them. I don't know. Just kidding. She won't. There was a very prominent rich person for one of the ones that I showed you would pay anything.
Yeah,
And
you've
she
mentioned
said no.
before. She
That
said,
money is a different context to Carol. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, if we were starving, it might be a little different again, but it's totally different. Like you say, if she said, if I said to her, let's sell all the possessions today, live in a trailer, she's good with that. She wouldn't even think twice, you know, if it meant helping people. So yeah, she has it right. I'm kind of like you say, the capitalist, but she's got the heart. And I think I've said it before in the show. You know, if I get up to the pearly gates, I'm gonna say I know her, right? You know, can you let me in anyway?
I'm good
For
buddies
sure, I
with
screwed.
Carol.
Yeah.
Cool. I get to
Wow.
say that too now. Well, we all do. That's why we're here. Are you reading poetry tonight, or is Carol?
Yeah, she
What?
won't read them. She won't. Hey, Carol, will you read them? Very loud,
Hi,
no.
Carol.
She's doing similar to Dr. Rader's wife, like hiding in the backgrounds. What now that she's always in front of the camera, but Carol, what's that? She said she cries when she reads it, and she does. She cries all the time. But these are her poems. She has a collection of poems that she finds. Most of them are simple, and they're all, you know, something that touches her. So, you know, when I told her about poems, there was a list of, you know, 500 that she's got saved and reads. Right. I'm kind of like Mrs. Metzger in regards to, you know, Emily Dickinson. Like I'm a huge fan of the olders. Like if I had time, I'd read the Rime of the Ancient Mariner right now. I still love that one, but
Maybe
it'd be
next
till
Sunday.
tomorrow. Yeah. So, but she's picked two out, and I have to read them because she can memorize them. And unfortunately, my voice is, I don't have the gift like most of your friends and yourself as, you know, a singer. But and Leonard Cohen, you know, I couldn't get him in the room, you know, at this point without a seance maybe. But, so I'll read one. There's two that she has. They're fairly quick, and so the first one's called Your Soft Hearts by Nikita Gill, who's, I don't know exactly the background. Carol would know a little bit more, but it's one of her favorite ones. It's called Your Soft Heart. You are still the child who gently places fallen baby birds back in their nests. You're still the soft soul that gets your heart broken over cruel words and awful acts when you watch the news. You're still the gentle heart who once tried to heal a flower by trying to stick its petals back when the ignorant feet trampled it. That is why you are important. That is why you'll always be needed. Kindness is the greatest endangered thing, and here you are, existing with your heart so full of it. With it, not full of it. So again,
Who's the author?
it's Nikita, Nikita Gill, Gill. And she has a second one that I'll read. And this one, Carol, this is Andrew what? Brian Andreas. So there you go. Oh boy. If this was Dr. Seuss and Cat in the Hat, I would have this. I would be good. That's, you know, I was never.
Next week, Rob.
Okay, I'll do green eggs and ham or whatever is culturally acceptable from Dr. Seuss.
Exactly.
So this one's a simple, short one. It's very colorful with characters and stuff. It's kind of cool.
This. I have
Do
two
you?
pieces of art from that person in my house.
Really?
Oh wow! What a coincidence! Yeah.
Gotta be. Yes.
I'll get Carol to text me the thing, and then I've got Jeff under Messenger.
I should tell Jeff to go get them. Go. If you're listening, honey, they're hung on the wall in my laundry room.
Very cool.
Of course, you have art in your laundry room.
I do. I spend time in there. I want to look at beautiful things and read beautiful things.
That's beautiful.
There you go. And save squirrels. Yep. Save those squirrels.
Yep.
I was just with our squirrels 10 or 15 minutes ago. They were behind me eating away and watching. I was going to do it on the deck, but it started to rain. So
nice. Rain. Yay.
Yep. For us, it's good. So this one is a pretty neat little poem. It's fairly simple, and touched her heart with her brother and her family. But it impacts myself with my mom, who passed away a long time ago. But it was, I wish you could have been there for the sun and the rain and the long hard hills, for the sound of 1,000 conversations scattered along the road, for the people laughing, crying, and remembering at the end. But mainly, I wish you could have been there. That's just as simple as it comes.
I love
It's
that. Yeah, it's really true.
Yeah, so that's like I say, she had another one that was a little more sad. I
That
think,
does
but
look very similar. Let's see. Hold on a second.
let
Yeah.
me see.
Is there a name on yours, Rob? The poetry one?
of the writing. Hey, Carol, do you know if you can see if anybody did the illustration on that? Because it can't be the poet, I don't think, right? Okay, so if you can come here. No, of course you don't. Hang on for a sec.
I'm trying to see
What's
if
the
I
guy's
can.
name again? It's Brian Andreas, and she said the book is called Story People. Oh, and it is his stuff. So he illustrates it.
How
So she
cool.
says he illustrates it. So talk about coincidence, eh?
It's all about community and connection right here on 11:11 with Jenna.
2 degrees of Jenna Mammina at it again. So just like that.
It is amazing.
How
Yeah.
fun. Wow. I have a poem. You guys ready to hear my poem?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see if I can do it. It's a link that someone gave me, and now, okay. This poem is by Naomi Shihab Nye. It's called The Art of Disappearing. When they say, "Don't I know you?" say no. When they invite you to the party, remember what parties are like before answering. Someone is telling you in a loud voice they once wrote a poem. Greasy sausage balls on a paper plate, then reply. If they say we should get together, say why. It's not that you don't love them anymore. You're trying to remember something too important to forget. Trees, the monastery bell at twilight. Tell them you have a new project. It will never be finished. When someone recognizes you in a grocery store, nod briefly and become a cabbage. When someone you haven't seen in 10 years appears at the door, don't start singing him all your new songs. You will never catch up. Walk around feeling like a leaf. Know you could tumble any second. Then decide what to do with your time.
Yes.
I know. A friend of mine sent that to me one night, and then I called her and I said, "Read it to me. I want to hear someone besides myself read it." And then I must have I've read that poem. I love the "Become a Cabbage" and "Become a Cabbage."
And who's the author?
Her name is Naomi Shihab, Shihab, Nyes, Nyes.
Nice. Okay. I have some new people to read.
Nyes apple orchard. Yeah, you know that
That's a fabulous poem. That's
really?
like a life path.
Yeah, yeah. And I've turned it on to a couple of other people, and then here I'll send it to you. I think I'll even just post it. I'll post it and put it on after right next to my Did you see the ducks with the baby monkey that I posted tonight, you guys? Oh my
No,
goodness. There's
you
this
see him.
baby monkey, and the ducklings are there. He's taking care of the ducklings.
Wow.
Oh,
fabulous.
How sweet.
I know. Hey, Carl, are you going to call and read a poem? Lisa, do you write poetry?
No, I don't. I write lyrics to existing songs. I make things up that way, but I don't write serious poetry. I wouldn't feel capable of doing so. Although I have a sister, one of my sisters and I'm particularly close to, and we will talk for hours on the phone because she lives in Denver, and we will have things that come up. She said something the other day. She was talking about, she's had a lot of changes in her life, and she said, I was thinking that I need to find my flock. And she was on a walk and she said, and then I realized, no, what I need to do is be the bird and the flock will come to me.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And then I was writing that in my book. And then I added, be the light bulb, not the moth.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, being centered in yourself is important, you know.
It is. It's so important. Yeah.
It was pretty
Oh,
cool.
I've just posted the poem.
Oh, good. I'll go find it.
I think I just posted it.
It's pretty cool. So you rewrite the lyrics to the songs for the words that you like or you prefer to hear, right? Or
I make up funny things. I write, I just make up,
Hold on a second.
I'll do it for people's birthdays. I'll
nice.
make up most of the time they're lighthearted, funny things, you know, but sometimes, yeah.
It's
just
like
my mother had that skill too. And I do that. And friends will call me and say, would you write a song for Jim's birthday? You know, it's kind of.
I get that. Will you write it and then sing it?
Yeah.
That's fun. So, Carl is on my phone right now, and he's going to read a poem. Are you ready, Carl? I am ready. Do I have you on?
Put it on so we can hear.
You're on speaker now. Can you hear?
Are we loud enough?
This is how I used to do Corona Roki back in the old days in 2020.
Great.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. Well, I've never done this before, so this is new for me. This is from a book called New Voices in American Poetry, 1977.
Oh.
And this was written by my mother.
Your mother was published in this book. Mark.
Yes. So this is called Goodbye. It's true, I kissed him, though I knew his life was over. We were alone, and we had shared a life of love and tenderness. And I knew when others came, I could no longer touch him. So I knelt beside him and touched his hand and looked on his dear face and spoke to him, though he could not hear my voice, nor feel my lips, that one last time. I laid my face upon his chest and cried.
Wow. What year did your father die?
71.
Did you know your mom was a poet? Was that something she shared with your family?
I know she has read a lot of poetry. I don't know how much she's actually written. She gave me this book, it's on loan from the family library, and I've got another one that's called A Treasury of the Familiar, which is another big, thick, ones that she had read, or thought were good ones. And then she read me another poem when I was over there a couple days ago. And out of yet another book of poetry, and she has just like multiple books of poetry. I had I've never read much of that. I've read a lot of books, but not much poetry. So.
Well, I know people love hearing you speak and play guitar, obviously, but to hear poetry is just, that was really powerful. That was really
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Well,
the
that
visual.
was obviously written about when my dad died.
Mhm. But had she submitted
Yeah.
other poems in the past to be published?
I'm not sure. I'd have to
her.
ask.
Yeah, I want to see her. Julie's crying. Carol's crying. Julie's crying. I was trying not to cry. Wow.
I read through that a couple times within the last couple days, and yeah, it's tough, you know.
Because it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
when you're in the room with someone who's gone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can touch them. Or I've washed people's hair, I've washed their bodies or taken off their bandages and encouraged the family to do the same. And it's real, and it's important to be able to feel comfortable enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is hard to do that. Well, especially that particular one,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Thank you.
It's probably quite a bit different when you're reading someone else's work that doesn't really apply to you, or I mean, you can't relate to it on that type of level.
But I think the visuals that your mom created in that poem, if anyone has ever been with anyone when they are gone or they're in the funeral home alone with them, there's that one moment until someone else walks in, until they all get there.
Well, no, this was at home.
Okay. He died at home?
When he died at home.
Okay.
Late at night when I was asleep. So.
Wait, I say that about Nino. I say that he went to sleep and he woke up in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy that. My dad, he knew that he was sick, but at the time he really couldn't do anything about it. I mean, he was going to Kalamazoo to a heart specialist. What had happened was that he was born in Riga, Latvia, and he had gotten rheumatic fever when he was a child, and it had damaged his heart. So he lived with that his entire life.
I didn't know he was from Latvia. Did you know that there's a big community of Latvians in Kalamazoo or near Kalamazoo?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
My grandpa, we always said my grandpa was, on my dad's side, my grandpa Hess was born in Berlin, but he was actually born in Lubau, which is a southwest west of Berlin. And then after the First World War, he migrated to Latvia. And that's where he got married to my grandpa, or I got married to my grandma. And they, he could see the Second World War coming, you know, and he wanted to get out of that, and he came to America, and it took him, my grandma and my dad and my Aunt Betty stayed in Latvia. I think it took him 2 years before he got himself established here, and then they came over like 3 years later.
Wow.
Wow. See, we learn all this stuff about each other on the show.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
so I'm first generation. I was born here, but he and his sister were not. They were first generation over.
Yeah.
And then my grandpa, my grandma had one other stillborn child in Europe, and then when they came over and they were finally settled in Detroit, she had another stillborn and got sepsis and passed from it.
Hmm.
So
This life is very precious.
Yeah.
That's all I can.
Childbirth.
you never know what's going to happen. So
you lost your sister what, 2
Here's
months
it.
ago? 6 weeks ago?
yeah, a month, yeah, maybe a little more. Here's the irony of that story. My grandpa on my mom's side, Charlie Bishop, he was in World War I, and my grandpa Hess, during World War I, built engines for airplanes, and his cousin built the airplanes that were flying over and bombing my grandpa Bishop, who got shot with a mortar and got a Purple Heart and was sent back home. So there's some irony there,
And connection.
you know.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Svetlana Stone is
That
Latvian.
was
Yeah. Life is a mystery. Truly, truly a mystery. Does anyone have another poem they want to read?
okay. I'm gonna exit. Okay.
You're going to exit. All right, Carl. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And thank your mom for
so
me.
What did you? Okay. I will do that.
Very cool, Carl.
What did you think about that song?
Oh, we're going to do
That
it.
I called you today.
We're going to do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
All right.
When you're free.
Do it
I leave
like
Wednesday.
Do it like the last one. Don't tell anybody.
All right. I won't. We have another song we're going to
Yeah,
record. And
something.
this is the person. Why I can't think of the name of the song right this second. After the Gold Rush. Lisa, this is the person that played guitar on that recording of After the Gold Rush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, it was a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys remember Rod McKee?
You're out of here. You're out of
Going
here,
to
Carl.
what?
You're out of here.
I'm going to be,
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll come back and watch the show.
I'll stay on. I just won't stay on the phone.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.
Night.
And I have to go plug this thing in, so I'm gonna watch it on another screen,
Okay.
but I super appreciate it.
I do too. Thank you, Rob Morocco.
Okay.
And Carol, thank you for your art. It's
Oh, her art is unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Bye, Lisa.
Bye, Rob.
You.
So do you know who Rod McEwen was?
Yes. Yes. Please.
I mean, he's pretty well known, but and obviously he wrote some protest things in the 60s, a lot he wrote symphonies, he wrote hundreds of songs, played his own music, had his own shows. But the funny thing about Rod McEwen is my sister, I went to visit for the summer the summer after 6th grade, I went to Colorado to see my sister and her husband. She was married and had 5 boys. And I ended up staying that year of 7th grade and living with them for the year and going to school there. And I got involved in going to speech competitions where you would do a speech. And I did a Rod McEwen poem. I chose a Rod McEwen poem and did it for one of the competitions. The funniest thing is I can't remember which poem it was, but I found this book like on the internet because my sister had all his books. And I was reading through it the other day and I thought, this one I got a kick out of okay, it's somewhat political. Is that allowed? It's not one side or the other. It's just, but I got a kick out of this, especially he titled it Soup.
Soup.
That's the title of the poem. It troubles me that there are those who want their kind of freedom bad enough to take away their neighbors in the process. I nurse my wounds in private, and when the bandages get sour, I put them in a private garbage bin. Why contaminate my neighbor in his city? Voting is not as easy as it used to be. You always wind up electing somebody. I love that last one. Electing somebody.
You always end up electing somebody. That's
And
great.
both the beginning and you want your kind of freedom bad enough to take away your neighbors in the process. I thought kind of applies to a lot of the world right now, doesn't it?
Sure
It did
does.
then and it does.
It's that's most things. It's as my father would say, people are more alike than they are different. So the same
I
thing
know.
is happening at a decade or 10 decades or 100 years later.
Keep repeating.
I hear a puppy back there.
Yeah, she was in here playing and then she left because she took her terribles apart. This toy that
So
she has.
cool. I love that toy.
Yeah, so
It all comes
and this-
apart, right?
yeah, it's all Velcro, so they can tear it apart and then you can put it back together for them and they tear it apart again.
But
And they
does she
make a small-
tear it up?
She doesn't. No, the slight damage to one of its ears is from West, who has a tendency to come over and just chew her toys apart. In fact, they were here last night and this morning I buy these bags of little toys for her and he tears them apart, tears the squeaky out. And I found one on the floor this morning with stuffing sitting around it. And I was texting Allie. I texted Allie and Joey with, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Here's the toy. I surrounded it with tape.
Oh, like
Let me see if
a
Crime scene,
uh-huh.
like the dead person and other,
That's right.
and texted it to him and said, the crime scene, the coastal killer has struck again. Your dog is wanted for questioning.
Telling you. Lillian will do it on some toys, and she has toys that she's had since she was a baby puppy that she hasn't chewed up. But then every once in a while, there will be a toy, and she'll just. And I bragged about that at Christmas. She got a toy on Christmas night, And I said, oh, and she's going to love this toy. Thing was destroyed in about 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But other
Layla's
ones,
not,
forever.
Layla doesn't have, well, the Terribles, she's never tried to chew it apart, but we tend, because she pulls it apart and we leave it on the floor. I have to remember to go pick up all the toys when Wes is coming over because he destroys her toys. But I have a cupboard that I'll buy stuff and put them in there, like those rubber bones she likes. I'll have like 3 at a time on hand. And she gets so excited if I walk to the cupboard. Like,
Oh,
ooh.
yeah. That's the like the treasure chest.
And when packages are delivered, she gets very excited because she
I
thinks
heard
they're all
about
from.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
like when
wants.
the Amazon person comes, she gets
Yeah,
all excited.
she always says, "What's in it for me? What do I have? I
But
haven't
every
had a
other
new
one
toy."
is probably for her, right?
Unfortunately, yes, that is true.
Well,
But
thank you so much for being here. And please, please, please,
welcome.
when we can make a Thursday night work conversations with the creatives, I'd love to have you on and hang out.
Okay,
And anytime you want to read poetry, when you find something,
great. Sounds great.
all right. Have a
It
great
was
night.
fun.
Thank you, thank you,
You
thank you.
too.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa Metzger, everybody. I know, standing ovation for you. We'll even give you another one.
We have to get
Oh, stop video. Actually, there you go. She's gone. She's gone. You guys, it's Sunday night. It's 12:15. We need another poetry night next Sunday. Let's do it next Sunday. Yes. Fabulous poetry. I mean, I want to read, Carl, if you could post that on your page sometime and tag me in it, that would be lovely. Or if you could, I'm sure it's available online, but Margaret, we all have so much depth that unless you sit with someone and ask and learn and keep asking, yeah, Lisa's super great. So if you see someone tomorrow, ask them a couple questions about their life that you would normally not ask. Nothing personal, but just something. And you're going to find out something that's going to blow your mind. I know it. It's true. I'm going to go walk my dog, take a shower, and probably hang out on Facebook. So, anyone have a letter for me for tonight? I'll take a letter. Yay, yeah, next Sunday. It's great, right? Poetry is beautiful. Jenna Mammina, I love you. I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I'm going. I'm coming. New Orleans, and we're going to do some cooking. I'm thinking if I come in a day or two before, why? Why would you say a letter H? I'm going to go with H tonight. H seems a little bit happier, even though I can't think of another word. But happiness is something that comes easy, sometimes hard. Happy thoughts make life easier. And hollering words to hear such thoughts of happiness, I think it's beautiful. And knowing what to say or far to go. Thank you, Julie, for the letter tonight. I love hearing your stories. They're oh so bright. And thank you, Lisa, for taking the time to pick out the perfect poetry to start out this time. And thank you, Rob, for the beautiful poem and the art that fills the heart of your home now. Carl, Carl, such depth, such life and death. People so precious like life and death. Have a heart-filled heart, not a hollow one, a huge, huge heart. I'll go for one. Rest well tonight. Stay healthy, stay safe. Be real nice. And I'll see you in the morning or maybe tomorrow night. Thank you, each and every one of you. Mama Grace, I'll see you in a second. Love heart. Really, really hard.